bones around his neck. I thought that look was just, it doesn't suit him at all, but it just looks like that's his character, and I thought that was amazing. But then we get to see him kind of set up that barricade or safe house for Blackburn, because we know that he knows that this person is coming to kill Blackburn now, and that's when we get, I think, the most action in the movie is the kind of the third act where Christian takes the house.
Yeah, that's where it gets even more John Wick. Like, that whole scene,
yes,
is very, what's the guy's name? Chad Zaleski, I think.
Yeah,
it's very
Chad. Yeah, I think that's his name.
It's choreographed in that same way. But there's a big thing that I want to toss back and forth with you.
Okay.
What did you think about? And I know, obviously, it's because Christian is good with statistics and stuff, and he must have had an educated guess, but how did he know that when he, released that flashbang, that it wasn't going to kill him too,
Yes, that's what I was trying to figure out as well. Yeah,
He hugs him.
I don't know.
He hugs him and embraces it.
I think he just, like you said, he took it in, he went over the numbers, and the probability of him surviving was probably higher than the probability of him, dying from the explosion. But and I think he took the bulletproof vest into a factor as well, knowing that would probably consume most of the
shock.
impact.
Yeah,
he would obviously feel it, which he does, and it's especially the placement of where he's holding the guy. It's definitely. It's not a good place to get hit.
Yeah, like center mass, pretty much.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that was fucking gonzo to watch. Like, yo, he could have just kicked him away,
Yeah, he really could have. But I think he thought that that the chances of him pulling it out of his vest were higher than him just holding it.
And also, that guy was beating the shit out of him.
Oh my god, yeah.
He was getting his ass kicked pretty hard for a while.
Yeah, you get to see. That's where you get to see. All these guys are probably ex-military, whatever.
Oh, yeah. They're mercenaries, but, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, guys for hire. But then again, Christian kind of takes them out almost with ease, except for that last guy. And then he through the course of him taking the house, he does get shot, I do believe, twice. He gets shot one time in the shoulder, and then again with a shotgun, I think, in the vest, or in the leg, I think. And you see him kind of tying it off. And at that point, he's tying it off. All of the men are basically gone except for who we know is Braxton, and then one other guy. He comes in with a shotgun and starts shooting at him. But before that, he's kind of doing a tourniquet. Christian's doing a tourniquet to his leg to kind of cut off the bleeding. And he's saying his nursery rhyme, the Solomon Grundy nursery rhyme, that obviously Braxton knows that that's what Christian did as a kid to help him cope with things, I'm assuming. And that's when he hears it over the audio of the security footage. And he starts reciting as well. And that's when he runs out of there, and he tells the guy to stop shooting at him. And then Braxton actually shoots the guy and kills him. And I love the part where Christian looks through the fireplace and sees him, and he's like, "Hello, Braxton." And it's just like super calm.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hi, Braxton." he's like, "Hi, Braxton." That's all you got to say to me. Hi, Braxton. He's like, I've been looking for you for 10 years. I had no idea where you were. And he's like, I had no idea if you were alive. He's like, oh, I knew where you were. Like, Christian had been keeping an eye on him since the beginning, so he knew who he was and what his job was, I'm assuming, and what type of person he grew up to be. But him and Christian and Braxton get into that huge that fight, and you see all this aggression or this built up kind of hate towards Christian that Braxton has for him because of his father getting killed, basically because of Christian and the way he reacted at the funeral for their mother. And Christian, he just takes those hits, man.
Yeah. Braxton is basically telling Christian that like it's his fault that their father is dead, and that he should have never asked his father to go to the funeral. He's like, you wanted to go, it's something that you needed to do, you needed closure, you needed to finish it, you call me, I go with you, and everything would have been fine. But then, and again, that sense, the message that I picked up from this was, he says, like, I'm your brother, I'll go with you. You don't need to take Dad to do it. He didn't need to be there. I could have went with you. Everything would have been fine if I would have went. Yeah.
I got your back. We were built to have each other's back from the beginning. So, I got you. And
we see
they settle.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We get a flashback of what actually happened, and they end up going to the funeral for the dad's wife or ex-wife, and then then Christian's mom, and they're basically thrown out, and the new family is like, oh, it's only like family allowed to be in here. And then of course they both have throw fits, and then the Christian ends up being detained, and then somebody discharges their weapon and ends up killing his dad instantly.
Yeah, there was I think that like the town sheriff was there as well, and he kind of let off a shot, and you see the whole scenario play out. You see one of the guys come up to Christian's dad and kind of is talking to him, and then you see one of the guys come up to Christian and kind of touch him on, I think it's on his shoulder or his bicep, and kind of say like, hey, we have to go. Like you said, this is for family only. And again, them not knowing, that he is on the spectrum. And like you said, they don't like to be touched, and those types of things. He reacts the only way he knows how to, because the guy touches him. And I took that as him kind of feeling threatened in a way, and that's the only way he knew how to react was to physically. Yeah,
because of his training.
Exactly. Yes, he didn't know what was going on. He beats up like 2 or 3 people. I think and we're totally skipping over a huge character in this. J.K. Simmons, his character as the Treasury
agent,
the guy, Treasury agent from the beginning, has kind of been on the hunt for Christian, or for the accountant is what they call him. Never been able to find out who he is or whatever, and then throughout the film they get a sense of who he is, and they understand that through what J.K. Simmons' character tells his protege, basically, is like he was the guy from the army that we took. He was good with numbers. We used him to kind of track down cartels and stuff like that. Through the money, and that's when he ends up learning how to become an accountant, and that's when we learned later on that Christian actually ran into him in the beginning and let him live, because he had his character with a gun against his head after they were like scouting a house that was ran by a mob, right?
Yeah, or some kind of business, I think, or something.
Yeah. But he tells him, I'm a treasury agent. He's like, are you a good treasury agent? He's like, no, I'm not good at all. And he's like, do you have anything else to tell me? And he's like, I'm a father. I have 2 kids. And he's like, are you a good father? And he's like, yes, I'm a good father. He's like, that's really the only thing that I'm actually good at, is being a father. I'm a weak man, and I'm not proud of the things I've done, but I'm a good father. And I think that is what leads Christian to let him live. And that's when, what else happens? Later on, he kind of says, once that happened, I was put in I was basically quitting, and he got a call from that British lady on the phone that Christian talks to, and we find out that he's known for kind of cracking cases and things like that, but the only reason why he's able to do those things is because Christian and the lady who helps Christian is kind of giving him leads to kind of pursue to make these huge breaks in cases and things like that. And that's how he made a name for himself.
Yep. And you're forgetting Medina.
Yes.
Who is a big side character with J.K. Simmons, Ray, Treasury agent character. So Ray, in the very beginning, he blackmails Medina, where he's like, you lied about your record, and so either you're gonna help me catch this guy, the accountant, or I'm gonna expose you, and you're gonna probably go and do prison time. So of course she agrees, and ends up figuring out who he is, pretty much throughout the film, and she ends up coming back to Ray saying like, hey, I think we got him. And then they investigate, and then that's when Ray ends up, they kind of confide in each other, where Medina tells, he asks what she did to get the felony on her record, and then it turns out that there was this drug dealer giving her sister drugs after she had told him not to anymore, and she pistol whipped him in the face and like shoved like drugs or something,
a handful of cocaine in his face.
Yes, yeah, and then shoved him, and locked him in his own trunk or something, and then she ended up going to jail for it, and then she's like, my sister's fine now, and she's got a good job, like 3 kids, everything's fine. And right there, I feel like Ray has this revelation that, he's like, oh, she's really not like a bad person. She did what she thought she had to do to protect her family.
Right.
And then that's when he becomes more comfortable with her, and he's slowly like telling her that he's only gotten to where he's gotten to because Christian and this mystery lady are tipping him off the entire time.
Right.
Which is why it's like, they're never gonna really try to catch him, because they're important.
I think he knows that, if he catches him, then that means, no more bad people, those bad people will never go away. Anyone that comes up again, because he is kind of getting he's getting help from them, and that's the reason why he's putting away these people. But if he catches, the accountant, then that'll all stop, like you said. He just it'll all be for naught, and those people will be able to continue to do what they do and traffic people and do drugs and everything like that.
Yeah, and then so we're coming towards the end of the film. I think Medina gets her promotion, and then Dana, they show Dana is like patching up her apartment. She goes back to her old apartment, and she ends up getting in the mail, she gets a painting of something they bring up early in the film about the dogs playing poker.
Yeah,
painting. And she just, has a big smile, and then she notices like a tear, and then she's like pulls back the canvas to expose that the Pollock painting that she seemed to be so obsessed with. He had sent it to her, and she fucking just hangs it up on her wall. Like,
yeah, I was like, oh my god, I would not do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the conclusion of the film. And then we get a cutscene to another family going to the basically the institute for the kids with autism or on the spectrum, and then there's another family kind of talking to the guy who runs